already a confident kid, but at the beginning of the season, that would have been something that would have been a bit of blow to it. But he has been able to overcome that as of late, taking out John and Fiji, which was a big win for him. And now here at jbay, perfect jbay to be exact. I mean, how could you not lose your marbles if you've got a heat coming up with conditions like this?
Dream start for the Italian. Pete, take us through this ride.
Well, of course, you know you want to start off a heat with an excellent ride. Well, look at this. We were waiting for the score of Miguel Pupo's last wave, and this set was coming in, positioned himself perfectly deeper than Sebastian Zietz, and this is the gift he got, the second wave of the set, and he just went off on it. To a tee, found a beautiful wall that slowed up just enough to be able to kind of hook some snaps, and look at the score right there. It's a solid one, into the excellent range. What a finish, too.
Yeah, well, basically I just took off on one of the best waves ever, and I was like getting all these kind of chippy little barrels, and super fun. I was stoked on it, and then at the very end I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to pull in and maybe I'll doggy door it, but then the thing just stayed open and open and open, and I was pumping through it, and then right when I was coming out, like past the impossible section, I just got dropped in on. So yeah, I was super bummed, you know, but obviously you never know what that score could have been. If I could have came out on the air and got a 10, so you never know. You know, for me, I think for sure it's got to be a resurf, but we'll see what they say up there.
And you did come in and have a chat with the judges. You know, how does the process work for you guys, the athletes, when something like that happens?
Well, for me, it's not a judgment call, it's not a priority call or a score, so I was fine with going up there and talking with Leonardo and KP, just saying, hey, you know, let's watch this over again, because they got a camera down there.
It definitely looked like Kolohe was coming out of that wave, and we've seen a lot of waves finish down there, but here's
just
a wave that Sebastian had. He found the exit. No one dropped in on the horn.
Oh, I mean, in this wave right there is exactly the type of wave that he needed to do to answer to Leonardo Fioravanti's first wave. I mean, look at this one. He completed it with barrels, bashes, looked at clean. I mean, that was very clean, not very raw. That was, I mean, his rails stayed absolutely perfect throughout this entire ride. I mean, even the exits out of the barrels were nice. And I think that that'll be the telltale sign. I mean, this, comparatively to the 8.5, you brought the tube ride into it. And he had the turn, so a lot of variety. And see what the judges think, but I feel like it's going to be better than Leo's first.
Beautiful surfing. I will say, I think Sebastian Zietz got something from that Highline heat the other day, the Corona Highline competition. He went out there on a big, bulky twin fin, and he actually looked so smooth. His lines look beautiful, and I don't know, I think he made a bit of an adjustment there. He's just decided to really clean up his lines at the moment.
And if that case is absolutely true, it says a lot about surfers riding a variety of surfboards throughout their training. You know, a lot of coaches will do that. If you watch the replay of the second wave of Leonardo Fioravanti, he got pretty darn tubed here too. Didn't have quite as clean an exit, and it felt like he kind of forced this barrel, but he did disappear once again. I mean, so for a second ride, it's going to be a good one. But I think you're right. I mean, it kind of does force you to surf a little bit different lines, and then all of a sudden it kind of gives you that much more experience, and it makes it easier for you.
Sebastian Zietz up once again. So not waiting for one of those bigger set waves this time, just really digging in though. Just looking so switched on for this encounter, but he just goes over the front of his toe rail there. So this might be where Leonardo makes Sebastian pay for that wave selection error. Let's see what unfolds here. A couple of big swoops to get started. The rangy Italian still motoring down the line, climbs up on the roof, the tail drop float there, doesn't quite get back out in front.
Have priority, and you don't have to take a wave as you watch these two snaps. By the way, may not go in their top two, but these were gouges. Those are the types of style of turns you have to do out here at jbay. When you see that fan of water flying off the rail like that, it is the judges are going to eat that up. I mean, this is a great wave, but probably won't go into his top two. But just letting those two waves go by, he's looking in, seeing where Sebastian was. You know, and Sebastian was, you know, way on the inside. So there's no reason for Leo to take off, because there's no opportunity for scoring for Sebastian. And he feels like, you know what, I got a whole priority. I'll let waves go off until he has to take one away from Sebastian.
It's been a good year for those heavy-footed surfers like Connor, and against Miguel Pupo, you could see the difference just that extra punch in his final manoeuvres, helping him get the jump. Here we go, Sebastian Zietz up once again. Just clean lines at this stage from plenty of water. Driving off the bottom, up in the lip once again, goes to mix it up. Somehow recovers there. I thought he went down, but he is well aware that that's not going to turn this heat for him.
You take a look at this one, you can see this one's almost one of the growers, right? So he takes off, it's just barely overhead, but it grows as it goes down the line, and the wave turns into him, and that just allows you to lay into these turns, 3 solid turns, and then this one just trying to mix it up with the layback, and a little bit of that little warble came up the face, and it just allowed that rail to stick, and he goes down.
The actual outcome and why that, what had happened in that section when Kalohe was in the barrel. In an ideal world, we would have had, an angle from further down or looking into the barrel to really see what happened. And we kind of have to base it on precedent. It's a major decision to have to resurf heat and overturn a result. Earlier in the year, we had a similar situation with Gabrielle and Kelly on the Gold Coast. Same kind of thing. We really had no conclusive evidence that it was an interference. And same with this situation. When you watch it really slowly and you see that section right at the end sort of crumbles down before the boogie board actually impacts the lip of the wave, makes it really difficult. So yeah, the decision was a no resurf. Very unfortunate, and we don't want that to happen again.
And obviously, I mean, this is such a big playing field. Where do you guys draw the line between where the competitive area starts and where it ends with it happening so far down the line with the free surfer?
For sure.
Sebastian Zietz has had a couple of shots at the lead. Here's the replay of his last attempt.
Well, isn't enough. He had to get down the line pretty far before he started to maneuver, but once he got there, he started to unload. 2 beautiful snaps, little tube time, and a snap to finish, and kicks out, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like quite enough, because if you're going to see the 5.93 already put up on the scorecards, it feels like this wave, considering where he was in the lineup and the quality of the turns, not quite as good.
No, 5.27. But here we go, taking off down the line once again. Sebastian Zietz tucks in, and he is being greedy at the moment, but he can afford to be. This wave has a good pace. He tucks in once again. Not sure he's going to be able to punch through that curtain. Sebastian's maybe panicked a little early here, and he's just gone for a lot of rides. He's had a lot of reps at chasing down the 6.8, maybe just paddling to the top, and waiting for a set was his best option.
Well, I mean, it's hard. Like he said, his demeanor, he just doesn't like to see waves go by unridden, and that's just his style. And, that was a very hollow wave. He was in the barrel for quite a long time.
Well, 30 seconds to go in this heat, and it looks like Leonardo Fioravanti is going to get one back on Sebastian, or is he? As Sebas takes off down the line. One last effort at chasing down to 6.8. Tucks in. Can't push through that section. And time is ticking by now. It started off incredibly well for the Italian, an 8.5. Backed it up with an 8.13.
Yeah, and that 5.93 really was a mistake. I mean, when he dug that rail, that cost him the heat. And then the rest of the heat, he surfed down